Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Isna Aulia and my attendance number is 27. Today I will present my final test for the course Research Statistics in ELT. In this video, I will present two research cases related to the use of English songs in listening learning. The first case is an experimental research examining the effects of song tempo on students' listening comprehension, and the second case is a correlational research focusing on the relationship between song tempo and students' perceptions of listening improvement. The first research case is an experimental research entitled The Effect of Song Tempo on Students' Listening Comprehension. Listening comprehension is a fundamental skill in English language learning. However, many EFL students still experience difficulties in understanding spoken English, especially due to fast speech rate and unfamiliar pronunciation. To help students improve listening skills, English songs are often used as listening materials because they provide authentic language input and increase students' motivation. However, English songs vary in tempo. Slow tempo songs may give learners more time to process language, while fast-tempo songs may increase cognitive load and listening difficulty. Despite the frequent use of English songs in classrooms, the effect of song tempo and students' listening comprehension has not been sufficiently examined. Therefore, this study focuses on investigating whether song tempo affects students' listening comprehension. The research problem of this experimental study is whether there is a significant difference in listening comprehension scores between students taught using slow tempo English songs and those taught using fast tempo English songs. The independent variable in this study is song tempo, which consists of slow tempo and fast tempo English songs and is measured using a nominal scale. The dependent variable is listening comprehension, which refers to students' ability to understand spoken English. This variable is measured using an interval scale in the form of numerical post-test listening scores. And the null hypothesis of this study states that there is no significant difference in listening comprehension scores between students taught using slow tempo songs and those taught using fast tempo songs. And the alternative hypothesis states that there is a significant difference in listening comprehension scores between the two groups. The participants of this study consisted of 20 undergraduate EFL students who were divided into two groups. The first group consisted of 10 students who were taught using slow tempo English songs, while the second group consisted of 10 students who were taught using fast tempo English songs. To analyze the data, an independent sample t-test was used because the study aimed to compare the mean listening comprehension scores of two independent groups. First, the hypotheses were formulated to determine whether song tempo had an effect on students' listening comprehension. Second, descriptive statistics were calculated to observe the mean scores and variability of each group. Third, the assumption of homogeneity of variances was tested using Leven's test. After the assumptions was met, an independent sample t-test was conducted to compare the post-test listening scores between the two groups. Finally, the results were interpreted to determine whether the difference between the groups was statistically significant. The result showed that the slow tempo group achieved a higher mean post-test score compared to the fast tempo group. The result of the independent sample t-test indicated a statistically significant difference between the two groups, with a p-value of 0.01. Therefore, the null hypothesis was rejected, and it can be concluded the sound tempo has a significant effect on student listening comprehension, with slow tempo English songs leading to better listening performance. Next, the second research case is a correlational research. The title is Students' Perception of Using English Songs with Different Tempos for Improving Listening Skills. Listening is often considered one of the most challenging skills of EFL learners because it requires learners to process spoken language in real time. To help overcome listening difficulties, English songs are commonly used as learning materials because they create a more enjoyable and engaging learning atmosphere. However, students may have different perceptions towards slow tempo and fast tempo songs. These perceptions are important because they influence students' motivation, confidence, and engagement in listening activities. Therefore, this study focuses on examining the relationship between song tempo and students' perception of listening improvement. The research problem of this correlational study is whether there is relationship between the tempo of English songs and students' perception of listening skill improvement based on questionnaire results. The independent variable is song tempo, which is categorized into slow tempo and fast tempo songs and measured using a nominal scale. The dependent variable is students' perceptions of listening improvement, which refers to students' subjective views regarding how English songs help improve their listening skills. This variable was measured using an ordinal scale through a 5-point Likert scale questionnaire. The null hypothesis states that there is no significant relationship between song tempo and student perceptions of listening skills improvement. On the other hand, the alternative hypothesis states that there is a significant relationship between the two variables. The participants of this study consisted of 20 undergraduate students who participated in listening activities using English songs with different tempos and completed the perception questionnaire. To analyze the data, a Spearman rank correlation was used because the perception data were measured using an ordinal scale and the song tempo variable was coded into ranked categories. First, the hypotheses were formulated. Second, descriptive statistics were used to summarize students' perception scores. Third, the Spearman rank correlation analysis was conducted to examine the strength and direction of the relationship between song tempo and students' perceptions. And finally, the results were interpreted based on the correlation coefficient and significance value. The results showed a weak negative correlation between song tempo and students' perception scores. However, The relationship was not statistically significant, with the p-value is 0.166. This indicates that although faster song tempo tended to be associated with slightly lower perception scores, the relationship was not strong enough to be considered significant. Therefore, the null hypothesis failed to be rejected, suggesting that there was no significant relationship between song tempo and students' perceptions of listening skill improvement. In conclusion, the experimental research showed that song tempo had a significant effect on students' listening comprehension, while the correlation research showed that song tempo did not have a significant relationship with students' perceptions of listening improvement. Maybe that's all my presentation. Thanks for your nice attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.